Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna try get you to try it again, but this time see if you can do it without the piano.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do.
Good job, Kimmy. It's always good to be able to try to do it without the piano too, so that way you kind of like know it inside your body as well. All right, I'm gonna change your do. I'm gonna go a little higher for the patterns, and the first one just goes like this. Do, re, mi, re, mi. Let me try that
Do, re, mi, re, mi.
out. Easy. The next one goes do, re, mi, fa, fa.
Do, re, mi, fa, fa.
Wonderful. All right, let's figure out a melody here. It says write your own tonic solfa melody. You can use any notes that you prefer. I usually suggest to try to finish on do. I just think it sounds good. And oftentimes it's nice to begin on do, but you don't have to, okay?
Okay.
So what syllables are you going to use?
Do.
Sounds good.
Fa,
Mm-hmm.
mi,
Mm-hmm.
re,
Mm-hmm.
do.
I think that will be a lovely melody. So let's listen to what that sounds like. I can picture that being in a song. Do, fa, mi, re, do. Try that out.
Do, fa, mi, re, do.
Awesome. And that's how people again compose. They just start with a little melody and then eventually make it into a tune and then add lyrics and then you've got a song. Awesome. All right, let's keep going. So the next part just gives us a little music notes review. And if you need any help with it, I'll help you along the way. So it says fill in the blanks. This is what kind of note is this?
Quarter.
Totally. So a quarter note. And you can either write the whole word out or if you want to write 1/4, I'm okay with that as well. So this is a quarter note. It is held for,
One.
you got it. And what's B?
The whole note.
Totally, absolutely. And it is held for,
It's held for 4.
you got it. And the other two. So A was a quarter note, and then B was a whole note. What's in between? Think of sort of the fractions. There's a quarter. What would be the next maybe fraction that you might move to if we added an extra quarter to it?
2 quarters.
It's like 2/4. So the name. So if we have 2/4, we've made it into.
1.
It starts with an H. So I'm going to give you that hint. And I'll give you another hint. If we say will you have pie on Thanksgiving? Maybe. What if you only cut the pie down the middle? How many in half? There you go. This is a half note down, and it is held for.
It is held for 2 beats.
Absolutely. And the last one. So it's the same as a half note, except what does it have beside it?
A dot.
So we call it a dotted half note. This is a dotted half note. And how many beats does it get?
3.
Totally right. And then over the page we go. So this is pretty easy stuff as well. So it talks a little bit about note stems. And so the stems are just the little sticks that go to the right or left of the notes. And there are some rules that we follow. So if the notes are below the third line of the staff, which is right in the middle, they go up on the right side. It kind of looks like a letter D. If the notes are above the third line, they go down on the left side and it kind of looks like a letter P. And if the note is on the third line, it's allowed to go either way. So there's no rule on the third line. And in fact, you'll hear people often call it the third line rule. So your job, it says writing notes with stems, draw stems going up. And it says notes with stems going up look like the letter D. Remember D for dog. So just practice drawing a few stems on question 1 going up. Pretty easy stuff. Question 2, we are drawing stems going down. And it just says notes with stems going down look like that letter P. Remember P for puppy. And then once you've done that question, question 3 says add a stem. They're all on the 3rd line, so some will go up on the right and others will go down on the left, and you can go ahead with that. And the final thing we need to do is the lesson review. So the lesson review gives you a little mix-up with all of these stem notes. So for the first one, would you say it's an up stem or a down stem?
Down stem.
I think it's actually an ups because it's below the 3rd line, so I would put that one up on the right side. And then what about the second one?
Down.
Definitely, so that goes down on the left side. What about the 3rd one?
Up stem.
Sure, because the 3rd one, either way, is legal there. And what about the last 2?
Down.
Actually, that one's below the 3rd line, so
Yeah.
it'll be an up, yep,
And then
totally. And give yourself a 5 out of 5. That lesson in writing is out of there. And with that, let's get on into some singing now. And I know we've got some beautiful pieces. Did you want to try Santa Lucia for memory?
sure.
Why not? All right, if you need help with a word, I will help you out. I'm going to be your audience for it as well. So just bear with me here. And I was going to say, like we've always done, I like my little sun and moon there. We can sing to the sun and moon there. All right, here comes your music. Good job, Kimmy, you did it. Do not worry about a couple little tiny spots. Those are nothing. I'm going to give you your sticker on it, and we're going to add that one onto your memory wall. So first and foremost, I'm going to just add that one to this memory challenge here. And every 5 songs that you memorize, you'll get the option of a little prize as well. So I'll talk about that as we go through it. So today is Santa Lucia in October the 7th. And I'm going to find you a sticker that you can put on your binder. And I have a few Thanksgiving stickers. It's one holiday that I have a hard time finding special stickers for. But you can actually have the whole sheet there. So you can have the scarecrow and the leaves and the pumpkins. They have loads of Halloween stickers and Christmas and everything, but Thanksgiving is a hard one to find stickers for.
Yeah.
And when you're finished, I can just take that piece of paper there and throw it out there. Awesome. Okay, let's go on to scales and arpeggios. I think everything was going really well with this last time as well. So I'm just going to put the keyboard going. And are you ready for the music?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Good for you. It's an easy song in some ways, but also not, because it's got high energy, and once you get going, and you did a really good job with it. I was going to say, now that we finished the Italian piece, and I bet, do you think you know some of this one off by heart too? A little bit. Why don't you start maybe like over this week, see how the first verse goes, then add your second verse if you're faithful, and then the third verse, and just kind of work your way through it. So I'll just write to begin memorizing that one, and you can work away at that. And so I'll just write begin, and as always, what I tend to do is I usually practice my songs 3 times in a row. The first time I always do it with the book just to make sure I don't miss anything. And then the other times is when I start to try to sing it a little bit further away from the book there, okay? All right, so I'll write work on memory. And with that, let's continue along to I See the Light. And I think everything was going well with this one too. I know I got this one in the keyboard, so I will just load it up. And are you ready for the music? Here we go. Love the smoothness, and it meant I could feel the meaning of the song coming through. Part of it was just this very connected. I felt you were really connected to the song. So I noticed just a couple of little tiny spots that are tricky. One is the very low notes that you have to sometimes sing. When we have to do those, I like to just feel like my sound just jumps just to my chest for just a moment. So for example, if say I'm going to sing in my normal voice. All those days watching from the windows. It doesn't have to be too loud, that goes. Just put your hand just gently on your chest and try to feel as much of the sound vibrating, sort of maybe a little vibration. Go for it.
All those days watching from the windows.
Could you feel some vibration in there? And don't worry, when you get to that low note, I know it's tempting, we think sometimes moving our head down will help. It actually doesn't. Watching from the windows. If anything, I'll open myself up a bit. Just try to go watching from the windows and put your hands out.
Watching from the windows.
That's as much, and did you notice it was more connected that time? So don't feel it. I think sometimes when we think a low note's coming and we think we can do this, it won't help you. Our brains may think it will, but it won't. The other spot was, I noticed when you had to sing at the top of the second page, I'm where I'm meant to be. As you got to the end of the phrase, I felt like you were just running out of air just a little bit. So if we go to the top of the second page where it says, standing here, it's oh so clear. After the word clear, put a good sized comma to remind you to take a good breath. So we want a big breath in there. So we get standing here, it's oh so clear, big breath. I'm where I'm meant to be. Give it a try and don't be afraid to just lots of breath. Breathe.
It's oh so clear.
Breathe.
I'm where I'm meant to be.
Still tricky, but you're almost there. Let's just try that. In fact, you know what I would like you to do? Try this for me. So I think it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So while I'm playing this, I want you to do this. Just hiss while I play those notes. Now take a good breath and sing the words again.
I'm where I'm meant to be.
You do have the air to do it. Now let's go back to standing here. We'll sing the real words. Breathe.
It's oh so clear. I'm where I'm meant to be.
Etc. Awesome, yeah. So it's just a matter of now what felt a little bit different? Were you just thinking about your breath? Were you thinking deeper? Or how did it feel to sing it?
Well, it felt more like I could actually, I'm not worried.
You could manage it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you were doing a lot different in your body to do it? Or a little bit, but mostly just thinking about it. And I think it's just a matter of again, it's like conditioning ourselves to take a good deep breath. And then I always say use the breath. And as you can see me, I like to move around. So if I was singing at home, practicing, I'm where I'm meant to be, I might do funky things with my arms to say, I want the sound to go there. And I know in performance, I wouldn't do that because people would be like, why is he doing all? Have you ever seen a person who speaks and uses their hands a lot? Sometimes that's too much because I don't want to look at this. I want to focus in on this. So part of it is that we learn how to do this and then eventually learn how to do this. Standing here and let our face do all the storytelling. But those were the only two spots. Just saying to yourself, the low notes, you don't have to work extra hard for them. Just sing them lightly. And then deep, deep breaths. All right, let's keep going. How about You're Never Fully Dressed? Oh, it's some wonderful work on I See the Light. All right, and I don't think I ever put this one in the keyboard, so I think I'll do that today. I think I might have tried, and then I think I said I played some bad notes, so we'll see if I can do the right notes this time. All right, so you just sing naturally. If you need help with anything, I'll jump in and help you. Here we go. Oh, and I better make sure that I'm not too high. You don't want this one to be too high. So make a note of that. Okay, here we go.
Hey,
job, Kimmy. I'm going to quickly save this in the keyboard first up. So then we have a version on it. And not much to talk about, just mostly on the last page. So that's what we'll look at today.
I forgot to go higher or more.
Don't worry, that's okay. I could tell that you knew that spot there, yeah. Okay, so it's in the keyboard. How about, and that's one of the hardest notes because it's like, so long for a while, and it's just like, woo, you're way up there for a moment. How about going maybe back to so senator, so janitor, and then let yourself just feel like it's like you go on a big ride and it just scoots up there, so senator. So senator, so janitor, so long for a while. Remember you're never fully dressed.
Though you may wear the vest.
Yeah.
You're never fully dressed without a smile.
Easy, and your tuning was spot on that time. Awesome, easy. Let's keep going. Let's jump on to our Eagle song next. All right, so just bear with me here. And you have dance right after as well tonight?
Yeah.
Now, I was curious, what is the name of your dance studio that you go to?
Velvet Dance Experience.
Okay, now is the woman who does is her last name Courtney?
Yeah.
I know her sister really well. She's an amazing singer. Her name, have you ever met Rochelle or have you ever heard of her? Or?
Well, I've heard of her a lot
From her sister?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I didn't realize there was that relationship until I think I saw, Rochelle is a friend of mine on Facebook and I saw her sister and I was pretty sure it said Belleville Dance Experience and I wondered if you might be. Anyways, I've heard wonderful things for sure. And as I say, Rochelle, she's an amazing singer and teacher as well. I've had the luxury of getting a chance to hear her students do their things before too. All right, so we're going to try on the back of an eagle. This one, the accompaniment a little different for it. So if it's all right with you, I think I have the music in the keyboard. Let me just see if I do. Oh, I do. Excellent. So if you need help with this one, I will help you along the way, okay? Here comes the music. Ending, we just get to do the extra fly eagle fly at the very end, which I know is a pain to have to look over at the bottom of the other page. Good job, Kimmy. I thought overall it's coming along nicely for sure, so I think you've got all the right stuff happening in it. On the very first page, the only spot that gave you a little trouble with words was the second line after from a place quite high in the clear blue sky. You have to still sing on the second verse, I would look to see. And I think that maybe you were thinking the words I and would were just for the first verse, but those verses belong with both. So we kind of go, from a place quite high in the clear blue sky, I would look to see. Try just that line with me. From a place quite high in the clear blue sky, I would look to see what is yet to be. Easy? All right. Let's look at the bottom of the second page. The only other spot you had a little trouble with the words, I remember a song from a time long gone. It's a bit of a tongue twister. I think it's because song and long and gone all sound very similar. So if you just kind of say to yourself, I remember a song from a time long gone. I put a little extra on the S of song, a little extra on the L of long, and a little extra on the G of gone, and then I won't mess it up as much. I remember a song from a time long gone. Just try just that line there. I remember a song from a time long gone. Now try it by yourself. I remember a song from a time long gone. Now let's go back to the previous line, from a place quite high in the clear blue sky. From a place quite high in the clear blue sky, I remember a song from a time. That's okay. It's weird, isn't it weird how our mouths do? So you just almost have to make our mouth do, I'd remember a song from a time long gone. Say that with me once. I'd remember a song from a time long gone. And I always like to do it with my eyes closed too. I'd remember a song from a time long gone. All right, let's go back to from a place quite high. From a place quite high in the clear blue sky, I remember a song from a time long gone. And I bet you got it now. Awesome. Other than that, again, I feel like you've really connected into the song as well. Like I really believe what you're singing, which is a really important aspect of that part of the song. And I know those kinds of pieces can be a little tougher to connect to sometimes. So awesome work. Excellent. And let's finish out with I Enjoy Being a Girl. Okay. And just looking here, we did a vocals last time. So if it's all right with you, Kimmy, because... well, actually, no, I think we can do it with the two of us sing. I was going to say, I'll put the melody. Are you comfortable singing this one by yourself? Do you want me to kind of sing with you, or?
Kind of sing this
When you need help, sure. Okay, so I'll just remind you the opening. I'm a girl and by me that's only great. Okay, I'll play the piano a bit louder so that the melody will come out a bit stronger through there, and you just sing normally, and I'll help you when you need help. All right, here comes your very short introduction. Sorry, I blew it. I gotta do it one more time. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 1, I'm a girl. Here we go. George one's still pretty new. The only thing I would probably do is I might just go over the words a few times. And when you're at home or maybe you're in the car or anything, I would just practice the words without even singing. It's because, as you know, some of it moves pretty quick, so you can slow it down. So for example, I'm just like, I adore being dressed in something frilly. How often do we say frilly in reality? Hardly ever. But you can, I enjoy being dressed in something frilly. And then you try singing it. I adore being dressed in something frilly. And all of a sudden it's way easier to do. So I might just speak the lyrics just a couple of times through over this week, and you'll find it so much easier to sing with as well. All right, that's a good place for us to finish for today. I am going to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Kimmy. And I'm going to get you one more of my Thanksgiving ones. I've only, like I say, got a few of them left. So I have a basket of apples or a squirrel.
I have a squirrel.
Squirrel, absolutely. And you can have the little borders as well of those ones too, okay? All right, and I'll send over that video of your lesson, and you'll have something that you can listen to and work with. And I'll just do that right now. You're very welcome.